How many times have you presented an offer to someone and had them say, I can't afford it, or it's too expensive? When people say, I can't afford it, that is an excuse, not a legitimate objection. This is what you need to write down or come back to with what your offer needs. It needs, number one, a clear outcome. Number two, clear features and benefits. Number three, scarcity and urgency. Number four, a value stack or your bonuses. And number five, a guarantee.
Welcome to Swift Coaches Academy, a podcast dedicated to bringing health and wellness professionals the uncensored truth behind what it really takes to succeed in the health industry with me, your host, Xenia Wood. As an accredited exercise physiologist and business owner for almost a decade, I'm on a mission to transform the lives of ambitious health professionals like you who want more and are ready to take action to create incredible impact in your careers and unlock financial freedom in your business. So join me as I speak candidly with industry leaders about the struggles and successes from within the trenches through thought-provoking conversations.
Welcome back. First, a little life update. Our sauna has finally arrived, which I am so pumped for. Actually had my first sauna on Sunday and it was so good. Like exact same quality realistically as like City Cave or any of those other like franchises. And it cost me like less than $3,000. We just did the math on like the ROI of that if versus us going to a facility. And we only have to use it like 60 times total for it to have paid itself off. Great thing is it's also a tax expense. So that is awesome too. But yeah, sauna is something that I am going to be start introducing probably like a couple times a week into my routine, and a great way to be listening to some more podcasts and some more health benefits. So I'm excited for that. But today I wanted to talk about something that comes up a lot when clients are a little nervous about their price, or we have students in our Biz Academy program who may hear an objection of, I can't afford it. And I think a lot of people kind of get stuck with that and then they take that as gospel and they go off and they're like, okay, well, I need to change my price, but how do I do that and still, make money? And how does this work? And they kind of get stuck. And there's no secret that inflation is here and we are in an economic downturn. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, business is far harder right now than it used to be in 2020 when the government was handing out like literal financial handouts and packages to people who were basically getting it for free. Okay. So during COVID, there was a whole lot of money that was just taken out into the world and given to people, right? And so then people had a lot of money to spend. And so people were also at home a lot. And so in the online sector, it really blew up and exploded. And a lot of people ended up using that money, right? But off the back of anything like that, when the government injects a lot of cash into the community, what happens then is the price of everything increases. It's like the ebb and flow, and it's the resetting of the economy, right? No, I'm not an economist or anything like that, but we know that inflation is here. However, it doesn't mean that you can't be getting clients and that no one's purchasing right now and that, like you can't be a PT or you're going to have to close your business, anything like that. People are still purchasing. They are just being more conscious of what they purchase. And what this means is that they're doing their research. They want to see proof. They want to have conversations with you and understand what your process looks like. They're making more calculated decisions versus during COVID, where people were just literally throwing money at things. And because they had money that they hadn't really worked for and the government just injected it into the community, then money was sort of flowing a little bit more easily. Okay. So yes, it is harder right now, which means that you just have to be better because there are people still spending money. People are just being more conscious of where they spend it and wanting to make sure that they're getting a result or an outcome for that. Okay. The thing is, when people say, I can't afford it, it's an excuse. It is not a legitimate objection. Okay. I'm going to say that again. When people say, I can't afford it, that is an excuse, not a legitimate objection. I'm going to go through and sort of talk through why this is and what I would say in these instances and have said during sales conversations with potential prospects, okay? Because when your offer is so good, people find the money. I have had people in our programs who have borrowed it from family, who have gone on like extended payment plans, who have done whatever is needed to be done because they were so damn confident that we were the right people for them, that they were going to do the work and they were going to get the outcome that they were after, okay? And when the outcome is so significant for them and so compelling and they really want that and nothing else is working and you've provided an incredible solution, people are willing to pay for that. So the thing is, if someone was 100% convinced that what you have to offer is exactly what they need to get the outcome that they want, then realistically, they're going to find a way. So my question to you is this: how many times have you presented an offer to someone and had them say, I can't afford it, or it's too expensive, right? There are things that I would say to this. And my response to this, for you to consider first, is out of those people, how many of them did you then ask, if we take the money out of it for a second, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that this is the right program to get you to your result or to your goal? I'm going to say that again because I think this is worth writing down or noting. If we take the money out of it for a second, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all confident, 10 being so damn confident that it's almost guaranteed, how confident are you that this is the right program to get you to your goal? Okay? Because if you're not asking that question, then you're just going, oh, it's money. But perhaps they lack the confidence, and oftentimes they do, in your ability or the program's ability or their own ability to get the result. Okay? Even better yet, instead of asking if we take the money out of it, what I would say instead is, ideally, before you speak to the price of the program, ask them, based on what we've spoken about so far, so after you've sort of talked them through the process and made sure that it's right for them and they're a good fit and you're talking them through it, I would say, based on what we've spoken about so far, to get you from your current state, so to get you from struggling, in pain, unable to lift overhead, let's say, through to transformed state, which is going to be through to playing volleyball unrestricted, crushing your goals, and being able to go into the A grade team, right? So you're creating the pain from where they are to where they want to be. How confident are you in this being the right approach for you or exactly what you need, right? So before the price comes up, you're just gauging their confidence in this to be the right thing for you. And I mentioned and alluded to it before, but I'm going to come back to it and say it again. People have confidence, or need to have confidence, I should say, in 3 different things for someone to say yes to working with you. They need to have confidence in, number 1, confidence in themselves that they can do it, that they can execute on the things that you're asking them to, and that they have it within them. Because even if you're right and everything that you have is great, if they don't believe that they can do it, or they're not, able to put in the time or the effort that's required, then it's not going to work, right? Second thing they need to have confidence in is in you as the person who's going to be the guide to show them the way, right? That you're the right person to help them get there. The third thing they need confidence in is your program or your system or your method, right? So maybe you have multiple programs. Maybe there's different systems. Maybe you could get them the result with their shoulder pain through massage or through exercise, right? That could, or it could be a combination, and maybe they're not sure if the combination is right. Maybe they only want one or not the other, right? So those 3 things: confidence in themselves, confidence in you, and confidence in your program, your system, or your method to get the result, is what they need. So when people potentially say to the question of like, how confident are you that this is the right approach for you? And they say like anything, probably less than a 10 to be fair, then I would say, cool. Most of the time when people say that, and thank you for being honest, it's due to one of these 3 things. And I would list them out for them. I'd say that they don't have the confidence in themselves to get the result or to do the work, or they don't have confidence in me, and that's no hard feelings, but if that's the answer, then let's see if, that's going to work. Or they don't have confidence in the process, which one is it for you? And by saying which one is it for you, what you've done is you've eradicated any other random answer that they could throw at you. And they're going to think, what's the easiest sort of response to provide? It's like, okay, well, they'll probably pick one. Okay. And so then you get to work through, and then you go, huh. So it used to be that money was the problem, and now the objection has changed. And so it's actually a confidence issue in one of those three areas. And then you get to like actually objection handle the true objection, because I need to think about it is another version of a smokescreen, right? I need to think about it. I need to talk to my partner. Cool. I would use something like, okay, cool. Just out of curiosity, what do you think your partner's biggest like hesitation would be? Because that's typically going to actually be their hesitation. Okay, great way to pull the partner or the spouse objection and pull out what they're actually thinking or feeling. But typically it's going to be that they're not certain that this is the right offer for them or this will get them the result. And then you get to ask, if it's not a 10, I would say, cool, thank you for being honest. What would need to happen for you to be at a 10? Right? And so you're asking, you're open-ended, like let's workshop. It feels collaborative. It doesn't feel like, oh, well, you can't afford it, therefore, okay, whatever. You can't do it then. What would need to happen? And so maybe they say, oh, well, I'd need to, speak to people who've had a similar history to me and, hear their experiences. You're like, okay, maybe you could set that up. You could set up a conversation with someone who's had a similar experience and get them to talk through it. Maybe they would want to try it for a week. Could you have like a 7-day money back guarantee in there that if they don't, if it's not, right for them, maybe they just want to like see the back end of your programming. Maybe they want, there are so many different reasons why people might be hesitant based on past experience or their current circumstances as to why it wouldn't be a 10, but this is going to really help you nut out. Like perhaps your offer isn't good enough. Perhaps it needs to get closer to the outcome. Perhaps they need more proof. Perhaps they need a way to really, really taste test it a little bit more. And can you create an opportunity where that can happen? In some cases, the answer may be no. And that's okay, right? Like you don't have to be doing everything for free for an entire month or something to bring someone into your program. However, if you have a really strong guarantee, then that can eradicate some of those issues like money back guarantee or satisfaction guarantee, things like that. I'll also link the episode where we spoke to the 4 different types of guarantees, where you can actually go through and figure out what your irresistible guarantee is for your offer. But that can be really helpful to eradicate that. But obviously they have to put in the work too, right? Like you're not just going to be like, oh, cool, like you can try it for free. And like if you don't show up to the sessions, you don't do the work, then you can still get your money back. Like that's obviously not going to get them the result. So you have to have parameters around that too. Because the thing is, if you can eradicate their concerns and you do have that compelling guarantee and a clear pathway and outcome, they're confident in themselves, they're confident in you, or you can help to guide them to sort of bridge the gap from like they don't have the confidence, but they can lean on and leverage on your confidence in the program and the system, and that you have the proof and the testimonials and the experience, then that can be great too. Okay. And so then the conversation becomes, so what can you afford? As opposed to like, I can't afford it. If you get them to like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 and you work through those actual objections, not the I can't afford it one that is the smoke screen, if you can really dive deep and you can get out those objections and then you say, cool, so what could you afford? And you can workshop ideas. And we've done extended payment plans for people who are like really committed and really need the help and just do not have the cash right now. Okay. And you get to choose, because it's your business, you get to choose whether you do create an extended payment plan or not, or there's some sort of finance option or not, or, what is the minimum that you're willing to accept, or how many people could you potentially have on that package to still make it viable for you, right? Because you don't want your cash flow to suffer. But let's say that you did get a couple upfront payments from people and it's like, hey, this person really fucking needs help and we're in this industry to help. Like, could you have an option that's an extended payment plan for them? Maybe they just can't afford $100 a week, but they could afford it like every like 1.5 weeks. And so you do like $75 a week or something like that over, 1.5 times the duration of the package or something like that. Or maybe they just can't afford it right now, but they can afford it if they move some things around or you give them time. So many options. When you open your mind and you don't take I can't afford it or it's too expensive at face value. The too expensive, I should probably speak to, is a value conversation. So it's you haven't provided or demonstrated that what you're offering is of enough perceived value to them. And so I'd say, cool, what would need to be included or whatnot for the value to seem so much more than the cost of this program, right? Another thing that often I've used in the past with people saying, oh, well, that's really expensive. You say, okay, yeah, cool. Why do you think that is? I totally agree that we're not the cheapest option. Why do you think that is? And then they'll probably turn around to you and say, oh, well, like you've been doing this for a long time. You obviously get great results with people. You're like, yeah, because they're effectively telling you that you're the best. And they're justifying to you that you are far superior than people who charge less, because that is the perception. And typically that is, if you have clients who are paying that and a lot of them, then it is also proof that this stuff is working. Okay. Because I think that the thing that I'm trying to get at is the truth is most coaches, most health professionals give up when objections come up in sales conversations far too easily. They give up far too easily because it takes courage to ask these tough questions, just like it takes courage to run your own business, right? But the thing is, people don't sit in front of us to waste our time or theirs. Someone really early in my career said to me, like, effectively that. They were like, people don't literally like get in there, like wake up in the morning, put their gym clothes on when I was working in the gym, put their gym clothes on, drive to the gym, find a park, walk into you, wait until you're ready for your appointment, walk into your appointment, spend an hour with you to then just be like, oh, yep, just did that for shits and giggles. Like they don't. They do it because they are hopeful that you are the one who can provide them with the solution that they've been searching for to get the result, right? So keep in mind that people sit in front of you because they are really looking for you to help them solve a problem that they have. And if you are the one who can clearly identify where they're at and clearly show them a path for what their future can look like, and you bridge the gap from where they are now to where they want to be, and you provide so much certainty and clarity and confidence that that is the path they need to take, then it's almost a no-brainer for them to want to work with you, so long as the value feels far more than what you're asking for financially in exchange for that. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to just mention is when you're looking to scale, something to ask yourself is, what could you add into your offer if you feel like price or expensiveness is coming up a lot for you? What could you add into your offer that would make the value so much greater than the price without costing you additional time per person? I'm going to ask that again. What could you add into your offer that would make the value so much greater than the price without costing you any additional time per person? Okay. And if you can answer that question, it's probably going to be pretty telling and pretty valuable to your clients. And you can ask your clients this too, right? Like, what would be so valuable that it would feel like unreasonable to like say no, or to keep working with me, or to do this, or at this price point, or whatever, right? Something that I thought would be helpful also to speak to is what your offer needs, but also like things that grab different people's attention. So for me, with the business coach that I signed up to most recently, the literal thing that got me over the line was that they do Bali retreats, business Bali retreats twice a year. Like all the other things, like they have the coaching, they have the systems, they have the processes, they have the downloads, the templates, all the things that are kind of like common in a program that everyone else has. And I think, if you're working in health and fitness space, it's like, cool, everyone else has check-ins, everyone else has, everyone else has exercise programs, everyone else has nutrition, but what makes you different, I think is really helpful. And not different for the sake of different, but different to help bring people out, right? They've also done different bonuses or offers in the past, but that was a bonus, the Bali retreats, free included in their program, right? So it wasn't the nuts and bolts. It wasn't the stuff that was going to guarantee or get the results of the main core focus of the program, but it was a bonus additional on top. And I think that sometimes instead of creating like a whole new offer, really what we need to be looking at is what are the bonuses or the value stack that we can add into it that are going to draw different people in. Okay, so that could be like a different tracker. It could be having, some community events. It could be adding simple like templates or things that make it easier, or shopping lists, or different like social events, right? Like different things will attract different people, but having a range of them that's going to attract different types of people and types of buyers can be really helpful as well. So I wanted to finish this episode with what your offer needs to be compelling AF. So the first thing, do not pass go, do not collect $200 until you've done this step. The first thing your offer needs is a clear outcome. Okay, like what is the outcome that you get? Most people say like, oh, I'm an exercise physiologist. That's what you do. That is, and exercise physiology or exercise is the method as to how you get the outcome. But what's the outcome people are chasing? Is it pain-free? Is it losing 10 kilos? Is it having better sex with their partner? Is it like feeling good and looking good naked? Like what is the tangible outcome that is clear that you get people as a result? Please do not skip that step until you've figured that out, because otherwise you're just like, oh, I can coach. I'm pretty good at coaching. It's like, coaching for what purpose? To get me what result? People come to you to solve a problem that they have. You need to offer a solution through a clear pathway, a clear outcome. Okay. The next thing is you want to have clear features and benefits. So the features are less important than the benefits. I'm going to talk to what both of these mean. So the first thing is the feature is like X number of sessions per week, X number of minutes of training, X number of programs, this tracker, this download, this template, access to my phone number, like all of the nuts and bolts and the tangible stuff. Okay. But the benefits are what those things get someone. So if you think about this, whenever you have a feature, it should be tied to a benefit. So let's say it's nutrition plans. Okay, that's the feature. That's the thing, right? People don't want nutrition plans. People want weight loss, right? So nutrition plans, so you never have to think about what to eat again and you lose 5 kilos in 5 weeks, right? Therefore, we've tied it in to the benefit. So we want to get clear on what our like top 3, 5 maybe features and benefits are, noting that the benefits are going to be the emotional drivers and the things that draw people in because they're outcome based as well. So people will make logical decisions because if you're like, cool, I can lose 5 kilos in 5 weeks, that's a benefit. The feature that gets them that result is the accountability or the gym training or the nutrition plan. Okay. Then we want scarcity and urgency, ideally both, but at least one. So scarcity is a limited number of something. Urgency is a limited time frame of something, okay? So this could mean X number of spots available. If you're like, yeah, but I have a fair few, but if I said, cool, could you take 20 clients on tomorrow if you're starting out and you're new? It's like, okay, well, probably not. I'd need time to like onboard people. It's like, okay, cool. Maybe you could take on 5 new clients a week or something like that. So you have 5 spots available at the moment. Okay. Urgency is going to be, doors close or something stops or they can't, maybe you only take on 1 or 2 people a month or until X period, whatever it is. Okay. You can also use scarcity and urgency with bonuses, like only 4 people get a bonus free training session or a bonus meal plan included from a dietitian. Even if you don't have the knowledge or the skills in nutrition, you can get that from someone else, right? You don't have to be the one prescribing and doing all of the work. You can leverage and lean on partnerships. But probably go to some of the partnership episodes if you want more info on that. I'm not going to dive into that today. The next thing that you want, is a, I'll come back. The next thing you want is a value stack. So these are the bonuses. So this is the Bali retreat. This is the community events. This is typically scalable things that you create once and you give to everyone. So these are meal planners or trackers or little mini trainings and lessons and lectures or things to learn about how to track their calories or, what's the difference between this type of exercise and that type of exercise, or some sort of group activity or community forum, social event, right? And then you want to guarantee. Okay, so I mentioned before that I would link the guarantees in the show notes, which will be below. Okay, so I'm just going to go back through those things. This is what you need to write down or come back to with what your offer needs. It needs, number one, a clear outcome. Number two, clear features and benefits. Number three, scarcity and urgency. Number four, a value stack or your bonuses. And number five, a guarantee. If you add all those things to your offer, it is going to be so much better than what it is probably right now. And the cool thing is, and sometimes some of our students are like, oh, but it's not right. I need to tweak it. I need to update. And it just kind of becomes this forever process and it never comes out into the world. My advice to you, if this sounds like something that might be you and potentially you have some perfectionistic tendencies, is that no, it won't ever be done. It is a living, breathing, evolving thing, and that's okay. But what's not okay is to not get it in front of people, to not get them to give you feedback on it, to not be able to have actual people who would ideally be your clients give you that feedback. Otherwise, you're just going to ruminate in your head and go round and round and think about like, oh, is this going to work? Is that? And you don't know until you test it with the people who are actually going to be your ideal clients. So please don't ask your mum if your mum's not your ideal client, what she thinks. Please don't ask your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your dog or your great aunt or whoever it is, right? Like, get in front of your ideal clients and ask them what they think. Because even in our business program, this is what I suggest for them. I can give you ideas on what I think's gonna crush, but like, I'm not a mum. So if you're asking me about what I think a mum would want, it's probably not as effective and as good as an answer as if you asked the mums, right? So keeping in mind that feedback from those people is vital. And if you're struggling to get that feedback, offer them something in exchange. Offer them a free session or offer them something, $20 voucher for Starbucks, like whatever it is, because this can be valuable. And it's also, sneaky hack, a great way to, like, if they're like, cool, well, if you added this, and this, and you're like, cool, if I did that, would you be interested? And then it's like a backdoor sort of like lead in to a sales conversation with them. And the intention is to get great feedback. And if they love it so much that they want to join, or they say, oh, like, that sounds amazing. I don't think you need to change anything. That's your opportunity to ask them if they would be interested in it. Okay. Really, really great strategy that one of my mentors actually used on me. And I was like, I see what you did there, but I'm also not mad about it because I'm totally going to take that and run with it. This is actually, I think, one of the episodes that if you know a friend or a coach or whatnot who maybe hears I can't afford it a lot, or is struggling with their offer, or is maybe struggling with like objection handling in sales calls, I would love if you could share this with someone who would benefit from it. And without further ado, I don't know why I said that. We're going to finish the episode up there. I've probably gone a bit loopy doing a couple of episodes in a row of filming today. So please share this with a friend and move swiftly. I have a tiny favor to ask of you, and that is to just hit that subscribe button if you have not done it yet. If you've made it this far, then I hope that this has been valuable for you and for us to get more incredible guests in front of your earlobes and faces. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please do that now. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for me or something that was a golden nugget that really stood out to you in this episode, I would absolutely love if you flicked me a message over on Instagram at Xenia Wood Official. Until next episode, and in whatever you do, move swiftly.